Hi everyone. Today we're going to be exploring the concept of area. But before we begin, I want to take a look at our goal for the day. Our I CAN statement, or our goal for the day, is to find the area of a polygon by counting the square units needed to cover the surface. What exactly does that goal mean? Let's break that I CAN statement down into smaller parts. The first part says, I can find the area of a polygon. Well, the area, if you look below, is the measure. So we're going to be measuring in square units the inside of a plane figure. For the last few days, we have been talking about finding the perimeter, which is measuring the outside of the shape. But today we're going to be measuring the inside of the shape. And to do so, we're going to be counting the square units needed to cover the surface. So before we begin, let's take a look at a few examples of why we need to find area, or why would we need to know about area. Well, if you look at the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a rug. You may notice or be familiar with that rug. You may have seen a rug like that in teacher classrooms. Well, the teacher would need to know how much space this rug covers so they know if they have enough space in their classroom to put it on their floor. Another example would be the amount of grass on a soccer field. If someone is building a soccer field, they need to fill the inside of that soccer field with grass. And in order to do that, they need to know how much space is inside that soccer field so that they can fill that entire soccer field with grass. If you look below, another example would be floor tiles. If I wanted to put floor tiles in my kitchen, I want to make sure I cover the whole entire kitchen floor. So I need to measure the amount of space on my kitchen floor so that I have enough floor tiles to cover the entire space. Our last example would be painting. I need to know how much space I am going to be painting so that I know exactly how much paint to buy. Okay, so let's take a look at our first polygon. You notice we see a green rectangle. In order to find the area of that rectangle, or how much space it covers, we're going to count the inside of that shape. And if you notice, the inside of that shape has smaller squares, so we're going to be counting the squares to find the area. So let's count our squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It took 8 squares to fill the inside of that rectangle. So the area of that rectangle is 8 square units. Okay, so let's move on to another polygon. I need to know what space is inside that blue shaded polygon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count the number of squares it takes to cover that blue polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It took 12 squares to fill the inside of that polygon. So the area of that polygon is 12 square units. And I put the word square in front of my units because we're actually counting the squares, or how many squares it takes to cover that shape. Let's take a look at another example. I see a yellow shape, or a yellow polygon. Let's take a look and explore that shape to find the area. Let's see how many of those little squares it takes to fit inside that big shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It took 25 squares to fill the inside of that shape. So the area of that shape is 25 square units. And if you notice, I put an SQ for square. That's just a shorter way of writing that word square. Are you ready for our next shape? Well, let's take a look and see how many squares it takes to cover that polygon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It took 14 squares to fill that shape. So the area of that shape is 14 square units. Are you ready for another one? All right. I want you to see if you can figure out how many squares it takes to fill the inside of that green polygon. Are you ready to see if you're correct? Let's go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It took 14 squares to fill that shape, so the area of that shape is 14 square units. We're going to take a look at one more shape. Oops. Let's see. How many square units did it take to fill that shape? Well, if you notice, I've already put that in there, and it is 22 square units. So let's take a look at our I can statement for today and see if we've met our goal. It says, I can find the area of a polygon by counting the square units needed to cover the surface. So ask yourself, did we find the area or the amount of space inside a polygon by counting the square units needed to cover the surface? If you said yes, then you are correct. Great job.